Perfect. All right. So thank you all very much for taking time this evening to join us for the first of our two service unit coordinator trainings this evening. For those of you that are new to the service unit teams, my name is Emma Miller, and I'm the Director of Product Sales for the Girl Scouts of Central Illinois. I am very excited to be taking on my, I want to say, third fully on my own cookie program. And honestly, without those of you that are on this call, along with our other service unit coordinators, we wouldn't be able to have this cookie program without you. So I do want to thank each and every one of you for taking time this evening to be a part of this training, and for all that you are going to help us do with cookies, and everything too that many of you have helped us do with fall product as well with being a coordinator. So we are going to go ahead and get started. Just a couple of housekeeping things here. I am going to go ahead and take myself off camera. I tend to wave my arms quite a bit and things like that, and it distracts me, let alone you. So feel free, you can leave your camera on or off, whatever makes you comfortable. I will go ahead and ask that everybody go ahead and remain muted throughout the training. I am going to be pausing several times, many times throughout the training to either address questions in the chat box, or at that time, if you want to unmute yourself and ask questions, that's perfect. But we are recording this in order to share with any of our fellow coordinators who are unable to join us this evening or on Saturday during our other service unit coordinator training. So we want to make sure that this recording is as pure as possible for upload purposes. So we'll pause several times throughout the training for questions, and hopefully not too much of this is new for you anyway. So let's go ahead and get started here. The cookie program will officially kick off for the direct sale portion on February 2nd, 2024. As you know and are aware, a lot of the cookie work, especially for the coordinators, happens before that February date. And so we're going to go through the timeline and all of those activities, but this time frame really helps to show when cookies will be out and about in the public. Starting February 2nd, girls can have cookies out. They can go door to door, set up cookie booths. March 17th, as we are probably familiar, or that end date is a little bit ambiguous. That does not mean that if a troop is selling on March 18th or continues to sell into April, that they are doing anything wrong. What that March date tells you is pretty much a cutoff of when the council will stop bringing in any additional product, and whatever we have left in our inventory is what we have to fill or swap or do anything that you may need. But that is the time we'll stop bringing any new cookies into the council. So just wanted to introduce those couple of things, and again to share our theme and mascot for this year. You may recall from the fall product program we just wrapped up, the theme for the year is Own Your Magic. So we are excited to start to own our magic and help our Girl Scouts to own their magic as well. The mascot has changed from fall product. It was the ocelot for fall product. And for cookies, we have this super cute axolotl. So you will see her throughout the training. We have all kinds of cool rewards that have to do with axolotls. And if you have troops in your service unit that are on the fence about Cookie Rally, they most definitely will want to come to Cookie Rally, because we may or may not have a blow up axolotl suit. So that will be a lot of fun for our girls to see. It helps, especially, we don't share our goals as a council with our troop leaders or our girls and parents, but as service unit coordinators, an extension of our staff that helps us to work with the rest of our troop leaders, it does help to know what kind of a goal we are working towards in general. So as a council, our goal for 2024 is to have sales of $7,503,510. I messed that up. $7,503,510. We also would like to maintain our per girl average of 267 boxes per girl. That's where we ended the cookie program in 2023. And so I think that strong momentum can be continued throughout this year as well. And lastly, we hope to have 4,879 girls participate in the cookie program. That is quite a goal, but we can do that by encouraging each of our troops to have their girls sell and participate in some component of the cookie program. So I always find that it's helpful before we take a look at all of the new things we have to offer for 2024. It helps to just kind of recap the things that we saw in 23 or last year's cookie program. So the first was that we introduced a new cookie that was an online only variety, Raspberry Rally. Hate it or love it, there was a lot of excitement generated by this cookie, and some logistical issues and things as well. And so we will talk a little bit about the Raspberry Rally in just a few slides. We did change the shortbread variety to be trefoil, and that way it is more aligned with the core values of the Girl Scouts, and it aligns with the other baker's shortbread cookie as well. We did have a stressed importance on the troop initial order. That was due to a change in the delivery standards that ABC was able to provide. And we are going to see that again this year, where a troop initial order is going to be extremely important. Don't worry so much about the initial order now. We will go over that later on in the training, but it is going to be very important that we're encouraging our troops to place an initial order again this year. We did move our first ACH date back 1 week last year, and after listening to our troops and their feedback that they needed a little bit of extra time before that first ACH, we did adjust it back to the last week in February, and we did find good success with that, so we will continue along the same timeline for this year as well. We did have an updated Walmart booth sign-up process, and we're going to go over Walmart booths later on in the training when we talk about the direct sale program. It will be the same process this year, but again, we're going to cover more of that when we talk about Walmart and cookie booths in general. We also debuted a new cookie reward option called Travel Dough. I was very excited to be able to offer that for the fall product program this year, and we are also going to have it for 2024 again this year. And last year was the first year that we saw that unified theme between fall product and cookies with the Go Bright Ahead theme. And this year we are continuing that with the Own Your Magic theme. So taking a look at what is new for 2024, the Raspberry Rally variety has been paused. We're going to take a look at that on the next slide. We are going to continue that stressing of the importance of the troop initial order. Digital Cookie is a new online platform that right now is primarily geared towards our Girl Scouts. They will be using Digital Cookie as their online marketing site rather than Smart Cookies. But as volunteers in the service unit, almost all of your work is going to be done exclusively in Smart Cookie, and most of our troop leaders will also use Smart Cookies for everything. There are a couple of things that they will do in in Digital Cookie, but like normal, most of the procedures will be taken care of in Smart Cookie like years past. We're going to take a look at Digital Cookie more in depth later on in the training. Did announce about a month ago that we did see a cookie price increase, and we are going to address that right after the Raspberry Rally as well. But with that cookie price increase, we also will see an increase in troop profits as well, which I hope will make this worthwhile for our troops. So taking a look at the Raspberry Rally, as announced back in May, the Raspberry Rally variety has been paused by GSUSA. So this was not a council decision. This was actually enforced by our national organization. And it's simply because although it was an exciting launch and it did exceed everyone's expectations, it also caused a lot of logistical challenges. And so with that in mind, and after listening to leaders nationwide and feedback from all around the country, GSUSA decided to pause the variety for 2024 in order to simplify logistical and supply challenges, and to help ease some of the relationships between bakers and councils and volunteers as well. We are going to be offering talking points online so that if a troop feels that they are going to encounter customers that are going to ask them about Raspberry Rally, we will have some talking points for them and provide that to them. So that way, should they need any assistance in managing customer feedback, they will have some tools to do so. Before we move on, I do want to see if any of you had any questions about the Raspberry Rally variety. All right, not seeing any, we'll keep rolling right along. So as announced in October, hopefully all of you received the communication from our Salesforce Marketing Cloud and in our Troop newsletter as well. But our council did make the decision to increase our cost per box for customers from $5 to $6 for this coming program and future programs as well. So this was not a decision that was taken lightly at all. It took a lot of communicating amongst ourselves, also in talking with our bakers as well as GSUSA and other councils. We really did not take this decision lightly. One thing that I am proud of is the fact that over the last at least 6 years, we have not raised the price from $5. I know it's been over 5 years. I've been with Girl Scouts for 6 years, and we were $5 when I started here, $5. And so I am happy with the fact that we are not a council that is continually raising their cost per box for customers. And I think that although it is challenging and we are going to see some feedback probably from customers and things, most of us have been to a grocery store or the gas station or anywhere to shop lately, and the prices for everything have gone way up. So I am really bummed and apprehensive about this change, but I do know that it is what is best for our girls, our volunteers, and our staff as well. Without this price increase, we wouldn't be able to continue offering some of the programming that we are offering our Girl Scouts. And so we did feel it was time to pull the trigger and change to $6. So things that helped to influence our decision included nationwide inflation. We've all seen the cost of everything go up everywhere. We also know that over the last few years, the cost of commodities to even bake the cookies have been expensive and have continued to go up. Baker fees are continuing to grow, as well as shipping and distribution costs. And so the cookie program as a whole is just costing more money. One thing that will help us and help our customers as well is that our sister councils, Greater Chicago and Southern Illinois, are also going up to $6 per box. So that means that the majority of Illinois is raising to $6 at this time. The exception is Northern Illinois. They are choosing to remain at $5 for this year, but I would expect in the next year or so, I know that they are talking about joining the $6 increase as well. With that cost increase, though, the profit for troops will increase as well. So because of that, we are going to be giving troops 65 cents per box when they are participating in the standard reward program, meaning that they get the tchotchke items or the cookie dough or travel dough. If a troop chooses to opt out of receiving those rewards, they will earn 90 cents per box. Operation Cookie Share remains unchanged. Each troop will earn $1 troop profit per box that is donated. So I know that this is a change. I wanted to pause here to see if there were any questions, or if I could, anyone had any thoughts or questions.
This is Becky.
Yes.
Told you, I texted you when it first came out, but I do want to let whoever the powers that be know that it came out to parents before it came out to leaders, before it came out to the coordinators. And I feel that was a mistake on whoever's part did that, it should have come out to the coordinators first so we could prepare our leaders so that they could be prepared for when the parents found out about it.
Absolutely. No, and I do appreciate that feedback. That was not the way that I had intended for the information to be released. I don't know if the it was not me who put together, I put together the email, but as far as sending out the communications, I had fully intended for it to be kind of that trickle down effect, but that is not what happened. In making this announcement as well, we have found that some troops have opted out of receiving emails from Salesforce Marketing Cloud. And when that happens, I understand, you get bombarded with emails from GSUSA and the shop and things like that. But then that also means when we send out a mass communication using Salesforce Marketing Cloud, that there are troops that aren't receiving that because they've opted out. So our membership and program teams are actually going to be working on reaching out to the troops in their particular areas that they cover and making sure that people are opted in where they need to be, and really making sure we kind of overhaul that system. So I would be just watching for some communication coming from either your membership support coordinator or your program specialist with that. Sabrina, did I see you unmute?
Yes, I was just going to say that I think that the word got out before you guys were able to tell anybody from other troops. I think that the other troops had already received communication and they were putting that on all social media spreads.
Yes.
So
the other thing that didn't help us is national media. We were notified by GSUSA that, hey, the national media markets have picked up this news and they're running it this weekend. What's interesting is they don't actually, and they being media people, don't actually check with their, councils in their area that they cover, because while in our area, if they ran that in the news market, they wouldn't be incorrect that we are raising our cookie prices. They ran it in the Northern Illinois market that, oh my gosh, the councils are raising prices and Northern is not raising their price. So they're having to deal with, questions. So the national media being bored or not focusing on the right things or things like that too, and wanting to share the news before councils are ready certainly didn't help either. But in this day and age with social media and things, everything takes off like wildfire, which is unfortunate. Oh, thanks Tracy for letting us know that you are here with us, and that is helpful because sometimes when you sign in and we don't see a name, that's helpful. All right, is there any other feedback, thoughts, questions? Well, I appreciate the feedback, and we will chat with each of our troops about this increase as well. So we will continue rolling along then and look at the service unit coordinator responsibilities. None of these are really a surprise, especially for those of you that are returning, but it doesn't hurt to just go over them each year. So really, as a service unit coordinator, you are a go-to person for troops in your area. If they have a question, if they have feedback, if they're having an issue, they may feel more comfortable reaching out to you as a fellow volunteer than coming to a staff member. And also you're in those areas more often than staff can ever really be all at once. And so it's helpful that all of you are kind of a liaison between staff and the volunteers and help us to train and communicate with our troop leaders. So you are the troop trainer and sales material distributor. So I really do encourage you to conduct a troop level training for the troops in your service unit. I will be offering 2 opportunities at the council level virtually, but I think there is a lot of impact when it's hosted at the service unit level and it's just troops in your area. You can work together, talk about booth opportunities in your area that are more specific than what I can provide during a training. You can do a training either via Zoom or Teams or whatever online platform you prefer. But I really do also encourage, now that we are more back in the public, back working together, not social distancing as much, it's also a good idea to get together in person. And that way they can put faces to names and really know who they are working with and get a good contact with you. I do understand too, this is an extremely busy time of year. And so if that's not a possibility, that's why we host some on the council level as well, because we want to make sure that troops have an opportunity to train no matter what. An in-person training is a good way to distribute the sales material that hopefully has arrived at your homes in the last few weeks. So those include troop envelopes, permission forms, order cards. I do want to note with the order cards that we do want to hold on to those until our service unit deliveries in late January, simply because as soon as an order card gets into people's hands, the temptation to start to collect orders and sell cookies in person is very tempting. So the longer we can hold off giving them the order cards, the better. At our local offices, we will have all of the cookie paperwork starting out at our offices starting November 28th. The only material that won't be available to troops at that time will be the order card. And then we will put out the order cards that week of delivery as well, starting January 29th, so that as troops, if they don't have an initial order, they can still swing by the office and pick up an order card as well. So Jesse asked, what dates are the council level trainings? So for our troop level trainings, where it's kind of like this, we go over the basic cookie details. Those will be November 28th and November 30th. And then, so I'm going to put those dates here in the chat. There will also be digital cookie level troop trainings where we will really go into digital cookie as well as smart cookie system. Really, for those of us who are veterans, not a whole lot has changed in smart cookies at all, but we will be hosting those on December 5th and December 11th. Those dates are also coming up later in the slides though, so if you don't have those written down, you will get another chance to see those. The troop trainings will all be virtual, simply because I can't travel around each of the regions in enough time to train everybody in person. So the troop trainings will be virtual. That's also why, as a service unit coordinator, it may be good if you wanted to offer an in-person training. It would just be a different format. But at the council level, troop trainings will be virtual. If there aren't any other questions about trainings, that's fine. We can always answer or take other questions later. But moving on, we wanted to also mention thank you for being the supervisor of online product and reward orders. So if a troop needs assistance with a planned order or needs help with their reward orders, you have the tools to be able to assist with that. You're also an assistant for cookie product deliveries. So like with fall product, we need a location for the initial order of cookies to be delivered. Typically, it might be your local church. Sometimes it's the coordinator's home. So I do ask if you don't mind helping me to secure those delivery locations by December 11th. And sending those to me. That gives me plenty of time then before we go into the holidays to get these deliveries to our warehouses, get them approved, and then get back with you if there's any date change or confirmation that needs to happen before the holidays. That way we can all go into the first of the year knowing where and when our product is going to be delivered. So if you need help in securing a location, if you're a new coordinator and you want to know where have we done cookies in the past, feel free, give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email, whatever works for you. But if you don't mind helping me to get those deliveries in place by December 11th, I would really appreciate it. You'll also help to print delivery tickets. We'll go over when we talk about delivery and things. As we get closer in January, we'll talk about the dot sheets and things. But you also help us to oversee the product pickup and collect the signed troop forms as well. And then lastly, you help us by collaborating with membership, program, and product sales staff, that's me, by giving the signed troop agreements to your service, from your service unit to the GSCI staff member present at your delivery. And that way then we'll keep those troop agreements on hand should there be any outstanding balance issues or issues like that. Danielle, great question. What date should we be making those deliveries? So the delivery window, deliveries can begin January 26th. That's a Friday. And then they will pick up again Monday, January 29th through Thursday, February 1st. And then everyone will have their cookies delivered so that when the direct sale goes live on February 2nd, everyone should have cookies. So if you want to let me know what date and location works best for you, then we'll do our best to get those confirmed and work with the warehouse on those. So I'm going to put those dates in here as well. Just so you have it in the chat as well. So we can have deliveries on Friday, January 26th, and then they'll pick up again on Monday, the 29th through Thursday, the 1st. Some of the troop cookie basics. I know we are at the service unit coordinator level, but many of you, all of you, are troop leaders, but you also will be working, regardless of if you have a troop or not, you will be working with our troops. And so it's helpful to know what they are going through with the cookie program. So taking a look at the timeline, December 4th is when the Smart Cookie Troop Volunteer email will arrive. That is also the day where the digital cookie troop registration email will arrive. So troop leaders will use both digital cookie and smart cookies. And here on the next few slides, we will take a look at where we do which one. Then starting December 11th, the digital cookie girl registration emails will go out. Like last year, this does mean that girl online sales can begin at that time. If you remember from last year, if a customer shops online for direct ship, those orders will ship as soon as the order is processed. Those are coming from an ABC distribution center. Full delivery, so that means a customer ordered and paid online, but once the cookies delivered to them by the Girl Scout, they will receive notification thanking them for their order and that their cookies will be delivered to them on or after February 2nd. So we're still honoring that no cookies should be moving in real time until the direct sale starts on February 2nd, but online sales will be happening. And this is also going to be helpful for our troops that can give them a starting point for how much they should order for their initial order. January 1st, 2024 is when the initial order will open for troops. The booth scheduler will also open at that time. Over the last several years, many of you have given me the feedback that it would be much more helpful while you're planning your initial order if you also know what booths you may or may not be able to have. And so in an effort to meet you where you are, I am going to open up that booth scheduler on January 1st. The one thing I do want to caution you is that it is likely that some of our booths won't be confirmed by the locations until after January, specifically, most likely Walmart. I can remember the pains of Walmart in January last year, trying to get them to confirm their online reservations. And so we will have whatever is available open on the 1st, but I will continue to add booths throughout the rest of January as well. And will do my best to make troops in those areas notified when I've added booths in those locations. Walmart is going to be a little tricky because right now GSUSA and Walmart have not reached a national agreement. So what that means is until that time, we cannot reach out to them. We cannot work with them. We don't know if we can have booths there. I will go ahead and caution you that we cannot have troop leaders, parents, service unit coordinators going to Walmart now and being like, I want to go ahead and reserve booths for. The more that happens and people go to Walmart now, the likelier it is they're going to say no to the national agreement. They want us to go through their online reservation portal and really follow the rules like every other organization. And so we do need to make sure that we are not pestering our local Walmarts. So if you have troops in your service unit that you know are already, I'm going to talk to Walmart, discourage them from that, because we don't want to ruin those relationships and them have us tell us no when it comes time for Walmart. So Chrissy asked, what time on the 1st will the booth scheduler open? It will open at 9 a.m. on January 1st. So we're going to talk more about booths later, but I did just want to caution you that it won't be the full entire selection, but I will get as many booths on there. Our program specialists are already working on contacting some of the typical locations that are already there, but I'm just not so hopeful that Walmart will be on there quite yet. January 8th is when the initial order is due. So troop leaders will submit their initial order via Smart Cookies, and they have until 11 p.m. on January 8th to enter their initial order. After that time, I do have to close the initial order because then I have to enter each troop's gluten-free pre-order by hand onto the initial order. And so there, I do need time to be able to process those and make sure that I can get the order to ABC right on time. February 2nd through March 17th is when we will have direct sale and cookie booths will be happening. Then March 11th through the 18th is when the reward orders can be placed in Smart Cookies. Rewards will open on March 11th, and then they will close and be due on March 18th. After that time, then troops will expect a delay in receiving their rewards if they are after that deadline of March 18th. April 24th is when rewards will be available at our local service centers. I did adjust that a week back simply because last year when the rest of the rewards were ready, the gift cards weren't here yet, and other years we have everything, but the cookie dough isn't ready yet. So this will ensure that we will have all the rewards, all the cookie dough, all the gift cards, and that way when a troop picks up and comes to pick up their rewards, they are getting all the rewards at one time. I do also want to note that troops have 6 additional orders beyond the initial order for their troop inventory. And when we talk about finances in a couple slides, we will have 3 automatic money withdrawals, what we call ACHs, from the troop bank accounts. And we'll go over those dates in just a couple slides. So I see a couple questions popped in. Oh. Perfect, yes. And actually the closing time for initial orders is actually 11 p.m. After 11 p.m., then I will close initial orders, and then I will work on putting our gluten-free orders into the system. All these details and more in the Troop Cookie Coordinator Guide. Those should be available once we start troop training the week after Thanksgiving. And those should be in our local service centers. And so each troop we recommend has at least one troop guide because those can be very, very helpful. So talking about cookie paperwork, again, hopefully you received your paperwork. Troops may reach out to you to come pick up the paperwork. They also may go ahead and decide to grab it from their local office when they're in town. That is why we don't send you the full, like every single troop that has sold in your service unit. We send you a percentage, and the rest of the percentage is available at the local office. If you do find yourself needing additional paperwork, please feel free to let your local program specialist know. So Bloomington and Peru, you would talk to Meg Anderson. In Champaign, you would talk to Kelsey Parker. In Decatur, Abigail Smith. In the Peoria area, it's Tiffany Kaufman. In Quincy, it is Patria Maroya. And in Springfield, it's Serena Sellenfreund. And so those ladies would be able to help connect with you and either get you more paperwork, mail you more paperwork from their stash as well. So if you need any, please don't hesitate to reach out to them. But that paperwork is the troop cookie envelope, the troop coordinator agreement form. We do have the dual copy of the parent permission form. That way the troop leader can keep a copy and send one home with the parent. The Troop Cookie Coordinator Guide will also be available along with coin envelopes and receipt books. The order cards will be distributed again at those service unit deliveries January 26th through February 1st. The longer we can wait to get those in people's hands, the better. So that way no one's tempted to start direct sales early. Just like in years past, we do have standardized pricing. The price has changed to $6 a box, but The gluten-free is the same price, so all varieties can be exchanged at your local service center. So if troops find that their peanut butter sandwiches aren't moving, they could bring them in and swap them out for whatever variety they think would sell better, including the gluten-free variety if it's available at your cupboard. So we've kind of covered the troop profit already. It is 65 cents per box this year. If your troop is opt-out, it's 90 cents per box. We are going to go over the opt-out information when we talk about rewards. We are going to continue to offer the $100 troop bonus to troops who participate in the initial order and order a minimum of 900 boxes with a PGA of 180 boxes per girl, and has all of their cookie balance paid in full by the final ACH on April 2nd, 2024. So if a troop does not have their balance paid or is outstanding balance, they will not receive that $100 troop bonus until their balance has been taken care of with our finance team. Speaking of finances, it always is asked if we have customers paying by check, who should they make the check out to? And they can make that out to Girl Scouts of Central Illinois or GSCI, and those can be deposited into troop bank accounts. As I mentioned, we will have 3 automatic money withdrawals or ACHs. The first will be February 7th. That is when we take 1/3 of a troop's initial order balance that has been moved back a week from years prior. The one thing I do want to note with this first ACH is if a troop did not place an initial order, there will not be an ACH on February 27th because there won't be an initial order balance. Also, a troop's online sales, troop and girls online sales, work to offset what the troop owes. So it is possible that a troop would end up owing less than what they expect to be owing because of their online sales. Our finance department tries really hard to get that information in our hands prior to the ACH, so that if a troop has a question about how much is going to be withdrawn, if they reach out to their membership or their program team staff, they should be able to find out what their ACH will be in order to prepare for that. The second ACH, all troops participating in the program will have an ACH on March 12th because that is 1/3 of the end of February balance. And then the third and final ACH will be on April 2nd, and that will be the remainder of a troop's cookie balance. Also, unfortunately, our troops sometimes run into a customer may have paid with a check that ends up coming back as insufficient funds or NSF. We will, as a council, help the troops try to work through that NSF check issue. If they bring the checks by May 22nd, 2024, then we can help work with them. After that time, there's very little our finance team can do to help. So we do want to make sure that if troops experience that, they get it taken care of sooner rather than later. And the biggest thing for finances are receipts. We want to make sure that as we're talking to our troops and our parents, that anytime product or money is exchanged, that there is a receipt going back and forth. The more of a paper trail that there is, the better, especially when it comes to outstanding balances. So for those of us that might be new to the program, an outstanding balance is any Girl Scout or troop that owes the council money. So specifically for our troops, if a Girl Scout, you're having trouble collecting money from that girl, the troop leader can complete an outstanding balance form. And as long as they attach the signed parent permission form and any receipts associated with that debt by March 27th, we will actually offset what we ACH the troop. So that way we are not overdrawing a troop if they don't have all that money in the account. And then we as a council take over the collections process. So that way the Girl Scout can continue to work with their troop and have a good experience. And they're working with the council when it comes to collecting the money then. But we do need those signed things in order to be able to have a leg to stand on when we approach them about the collection of that balance. So making sure that we fill out an outstanding balance form. There is a copy in our troop paperwork that we received. There's also a copy available for print online, but we also want to make sure that we have those parent permission forms. So looking at cookie program eligibility, Girl Scouts are eligible to participate as long as they have no outstanding balance to our council and they have a completed parent or guardian permission form. And then our troops are eligible to participate as long as the troop has no outstanding balance to the council and all of the adult members who will be working with the girls, be at cookie booths, things like that, are registered. The big key piece for this is this year, in order to upload a troop leader or a troop cookie coordinator into the Smart Cookie system for the first time, I will need a GSUSA ID number to accompany that volunteer. If the volunteer is not registered, they won't have a GSUSA ID number, and it is difficult, if not impossible, for me to upload them to the system because it does require a GSUSA ID number. So we do want to make sure that, you can work with your membership support specialist to make sure that adults are registered in the troops. And if you want to make sure that the cookie coordinator is the right person designated in there and things like that. But I will need that GSUSA ID number this year to upload girls or volunteers to the system. So we're going to take a quick look at Smart Cookies. Before I dive into that, I just wanted to pause and see if there were any questions. I don't hear any. If any come in the chat, we'll address those. But Smart Cookies, again, the volunteer emails, you will receive those on December 4th. So we're going to be using both platforms this year, both Smart Cookies and Digital Cookie. And so when it comes to our troops, they're going to have questions as to which do I use for which items. And so on the coming slides, I have a really handy table that our ABC Bakers team provided to me that we'll go over. But really what I want you to consider is that anything that is really the cookie management that a leader will need to do, an initial order, a planned order, transferring cookies to girls or between troops or things, scheduling booths, all of that still lives in Smart Cookie. Digital Cookies has a few things that we will do, and one feature has moved from Smart Cookies to Digital Cookie, and that is the Troop Virtual Booth, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But when it comes to these two, really, if it's anything to do with the management of the physical inventory of the cookies, that will be done in Smart Cookies like normal. I did fail to mention early on in the training that we do have our ABC Territory Manager, Reggie, joining us this evening. Reggie, I do apologize for the oversight in introducing you.
Don't apologize. That's fine. I'm just here to support.
Exactly. Reggie's here to spot check me, and if I say anything wrong about Smart Cookies, he's going to reach through the screen and slap me and then correct me.
No, I will never do that. So.
But I am very happy to have Reggie here with us tonight, because if we do have any Baker specific questions, he is here to help support us. Yep. So Reggie, I do apologize for missing you there.
No, don't apologize. The only thing I want to mention especially to the service unit coordinators and service area people, is with the introduction to Digital Cookie and the Digital Cookie platform, we normally do not delete or take out the service units and the service unit users. But with having to have the GSUSA global ID for the service units and then the user ID that you have in Salesforce, we did have to delete all the service units, and Emma and I will discuss when we can upload those again, and then you'll receive a registration email just to register back into Smart Cookies. And then we'll have to do some archiving and things like that. But your delivery stations are still there. The cupboards are still in Smart Cookies. So We'll be able to archive your data from the past 3 seasons, so you'll have that information, and that will be put back into as well. So nothing will be lost. It's just this will be the only time that we have to do that. Next year, since everybody's, hopefully return and everything, we can maintain and keep everything in as we have always done in the past. So that's what I just want to throw in about smart cookies with the service unit folks there.
Absolutely. I am looking forward to the fact that we kind of start fresh with our service units and everything. And that way invariably there is a place in Smart Cookie. I always miss to change one information or another. So even though Sabrina, I'm going to pick on you because I can see you right on the top, but even though Sabrina is my coordinator and I put her information there, I've missed another spot in Smart Cookie. And so it's not Sabrina listed, and that can get confusing. So I am really excited to be able to start fresh and really reorganize Smart Cookie and make it work really well for us. So you will get that email. And if you have questions when you're registering, never hesitate to reach out to me, and I'm happy to help you with that. Especially for our troops, as service unit coordinators supporting the troops, there's really not anything in Digital Cookie for you. Is going to be primarily for our Girl Scouts and their adults, and that is going to be their online platform for cookie sales. That is where girls will send customers emails and things like that. Troop leaders will have access to take a look at Girl Scouts and look at their troop. They also will use Digital Cookie for troop virtual booths. So over the past few years, especially since the pandemic, we have gotten, several troops will do something where they're already going to set up at Casey's and they're going to have a booth there. But if they also offer a virtual booth, customers can shop and pay online and then show up to Casey's, pick up their order, and go about their day. So that used to be in Smart Cookies. That is now in Digital Cookie. So we will review that a little bit later. That's actually coming up on slide 66. And that same goes with pending virtual booth orders. The troop will approve those. So the troop will use Digital Cookie for that. But otherwise, they can monitor troop rewards, but when they enter the reward order, that's going to be done on Smart Cookies. So really, Digital Cookie will be more checking, monitoring girl sales. There will be reports that they can pull as well, but everything that happens, a girl gets an online sale, Digital Cookie talks to Smart Cookies, and Smart Cookies talks to Digital Cookies. So if a troop leader assigns cookies to girls in Smart Cookies, then the girl on the Digital Cookie side will see that she has gained cookies from a cookie booth or whatever. But really all of the actual inventory management is going to be done in Smart Cookies. As I mentioned, any volunteer that wants access to Smart Cookies or Digital Cookie will need to be registered, because I do need that GSUSA ID number for data entry. So on the next 4 or 5 slides, I have a table for you. I'm not going to go through each and every line with you, but this is going to be a helpful resource to see what troops do in Smart Cookie or Digital Cookie, and what service unit coordinators do in Smart Cookie or Digital Cookie. I also want to keep in mind that we are going to go really in depth with Digital Cookie in a training with our troops. So we will do surface level during our troop training in November, but then we will get really deep into Digital Cookie and Smart Cookies in December with our specific technology trainings. So for our service unit coordinators, you can still use Smart Cookie to mimic users. The one thing I will note is that you can no longer mimic a Girl Scout, because again, the girls and their data live in Smart Cookie, but everything they do is in Digital Cookie, so you cannot mimic them. And Digital Cookie, I don't believe, has a mimic feature at this time. A service unit coordinator will also use Smart Cookie to review and submit troop initial or planned orders, troop recognition orders, and then the reports feature of Smart Cookie will be available for our service unit coordinators as in the past. In Digital Cookie, service unit coordinators can pull the troop activity report as well as the girl report, but otherwise there's not much there. Every other report will live in Smart Cookies. So that's kind of a glimpse for you as service unit coordinators. But then looking at our troop users, we go through each of the components. To manage a girl user account, Smart Cookies is no longer used. Troops can use Digital Cookie to see which girls haven't set up an account, but they cannot manage or mimic the account from Digital Cookie. As far as the girl recognition program and ordering girl rewards, that can be edited in Smart Cookie, but not in Digital Cookie. A troop can view their troop roster both in Smart Cookies and Digital Cookie. So the troop roster will be present in both locations. When a troop wants to place an initial order, they will do that in Smart Cookies, not in Digital Cookies. Same thing with planned orders, that will be done in Smart Cookies, as well as transfers. So anything with making or creating a cookie order, that is going to be done in Smart Cookies. Taking a look at girl payments, you will enter girl payments in Smart Cookie just as normal. It will be visible on the girl account in Digital Cookie, but it is not editable from Digital Cookie. Now, like in the past, troops are not able to enter their own troop payments into Smart Cookies, but they can still view them in Smart Cookies. They will also be able to see troop payments in Digital Cookie as well. So the credit card payments that troops will show up as an offline, and then offline payments will be things like the troop ACH and other payments that your troop has made. When it comes to refunding a cookie order, neither can be done either in Smart Cookies or Digital Cookie. We don't offer that option to our troops. If a customer does need a refund, then it will be contacting us at the council level. As far as creating the reward order, troops will do that in Smart Cookie. Viewing available inventory will be done in Smart Cookie. As far as turning off a variety for online sales, troops cannot do that in Smart Cookies, but they can do that in Digital Cookie. As far as creating a link for direct ship for the troop orders, that has also moved from Smart Cookie to Digital Cookie. And so we'll take a look at those in the next few slides. Booth sales will be in Digital Cookie. Distributing those virtual booth sales will be in Smart Cookies. So troops will initiate that virtual booth sale from Digital Cookie, but when it comes to assigning cookies to the girls, they will do that in Smart Cookies. To schedule booths, a troop leader will do that in Smart Cookies. Troops can also view booth credit card payments in both systems. Girl Scouts and adults can process Girl Scouts and their adults can process online or credit card payments at a booth from the Digital Cookie app, but not in Smart Cookies. Troop cookies to allocate cookies, but not Digital Cookies. And then reports are available for troops in both Smart and Digital Cookies. Then looking at girl delivery orders, you will no longer have the mobile and e-card summary report in Smart Cookie. I know that is one I would have a lot of you pull to take a look at girl delivery orders. Troops will now go to Digital Cookie to view any girl delivery orders. Girl transfers and dashboard you can view via Smart Cookie, and then summary data will be displayed in Digital Cookie. And then as far as Operation Cookie Share and donations, those are recorded in Smart Cookie, just like normal. And then orders are, if they are processed in Digital Cookie, then either the troop leader will need to enter the orders in Smart Cookie then to give the girl credit, similar to how you do at booth sales or other sales as well. So again, that is a really, really quick glimpse. We are going to go in depth with each of those at the trainings. I'll give you those dates here on the next slide, but I wanted to just give you a quick at a glance of where do I go to do which feature. It's all right here on that table for you. So I do see a couple questions in the chat, so I am going to pause here. Feel free if you have questions to type them in, or you can unmute yourself as well. So we had a coordinator ask, what do you mean by mimic? So in the past, in Smart Cookies, you were able to, in the top left-hand corner where you would go to switch user accounts or change troops, if you manage multiple troops, you could use the mimic user feature. And what that would do is it allows you, as a service unit coordinator, you could mimic a troop leader and you would see the troop dashboard and see what's going on in their troop. And troop leaders could mimic a girl and see what's happening in the girl Smart Cookie account. And when they do that, they exactly see, what the girl is seeing, but that is not an option this year for girls because we cannot mimic their accounts in Digital Cookie. So I hope that is a little bit clearer. And is there a credit card fee for booth credit card payments? I am going to need to look into that. I don't know off the top of my head unless Reggie happens to know. I would assume there's probably a fee, but I'm not sure.
Are you talking about fees to the troops or to the girls, or are we talking fees to the customer?
Probably fees to the customer.
Fees to the customer.
No, it's just taking the credit card. That's all it would be. Just like anything, they take a credit card payment. There's no additional, in other words, there's not a 3% charge on a credit card payment at a booth or anything like that. It's just take the credit card payment, and then the council would be charged, I do believe, for that credit card fees.
Yes. Yes.
Yep.
Our council absorbs those fees. So when that customer, let's say they come to your booth and they order 2 boxes of cookies, and they want to pay by credit card, they will just be charged $12,
Yes.
6 plus 6. So there is no, they won't see a markup there. And then really the troops don't even see the fee either, because as a council, we absorb that. So that is the least of the troops' worries. They don't need to be worrying about a fee. So we're happy to take care of that for them. Reggie, thanks so much for your help with that too.
Yep.
Questions so far, and as more pop up, feel free to let me know. I do want to just note that we are all learning the new Digital Cookie platform together. So in true GSUSA fashion, there are still tip sheets being developed. There are still pieces being put together. So as we get information, we will absolutely continue to share it with you. We will be offering 2 different Digital Cookie training opportunities. They will both be virtual. They'll start at 6 p.m. The first one will be December 5th, and the second opportunity will be December 11th. So those links will be in the biweekly troop newsletter, and I will also have them on the website several days in advance of the training, so that way leaders can pop into whatever training fits the best for them. I don't like to advertise it because then I feel like no one will show up, but I will be recording these as well so that we will have a training posted on the website for any of our troops who can't make either of those dates work. We are also going to have everything Digital Cookie tip sheet on our website this year. There will be some information in the troop coordinator guide, but the bulk of it will be as needed online, just to make sure that people have the information if they need it, and if they don't need it, then we're good to go. So we'll take a look at Digital Cookie a little bit more. But again, when it comes to accessing Smart Cookies, you'll get that email on December 4th. If you have troop leaders who reach out to you that they didn't get their email, make sure they do check their junk, spam, or promotions folder. Anything Smart Cookies at my personal email address goes to my promotions folder in my Gmail account. Not really sure why, but that's where it usually ends up. We do need a valid email address for our logins, and then once they create their account, they'll receive an email confirmation. And those of you that have used Smart Cookies before know that it's very easy to get your account set up. So taking a look at Digital Cookies, again, those invitations will arrive December 4th as well. GSUSA does recommend that you add email at email.girlscouts.org as a safe sender to ensure that in December, when those invitations go out, you will receive that in your inbox and not your spam or junk folders. It's very easy for troop leaders to just follow the prompt and set up their account. If you have a troop leader that reaches out to you and they didn't get their email, feel free to have them contact our customer care team and they'll pass them along to me and we'll get them in the system, no problem, and very quickly. So any questions before we take a look at the troop initial order? All right, good group tonight. So initial order, again, will be placed in Smart Cookies. That initial order will be due January 28th by 11 p.m. that evening. So those of you who have been in the cookie program before, you know that our troops are usually concerned about how many cookies they should order and if they are going to order too many cookies. So as a council, we have come up with the recommendation that troops should order up to 75% of last year's total sales or last year's per girl average. I do recommend that you don't exceed the 200 box per girl average, just because you don't want to overload your girls at the beginning or bring in more to the troop than the troop actually needs. So this 75% is a great starting point. It brings in quite a bit to each of the troops and allows for movement of extra product. If things need to be ordered, troops can use a planned order or a walk-in order, but ordering in an initial order does guarantee that a troop will have cookies when the sale goes live on February 2nd. So again, 75% of last year's total sales or 75% of last year's per girl average. So if a troop places a low initial order or no initial order at all, that could translate to missed sales opportunities because they're not ready to hit the ground running when the sale goes live. Placing a troop initial order will help them to earn more troop profit and also help to have greater customer satisfaction because the girls have the cookies when the customers want them. So when it comes time and that initial order opens in January, we will have the estimate spreadsheets posted on our website. So existing troops will use either their last year's sales or per girl average. New troops for the year will use the per girl average based on their grade level of their troop. And the spreadsheet really helps break down your troop's initial order to the variety. So you could know what you want, what you're going to order for that initial order. So all of those spreadsheets are going to be available on our website. We will also have an estimation guide in the Troop Cookie Coordinator Guide if a troop would like to estimate by hand. But why reinvent the wheel when we have a spreadsheet that will do it for you? So again, I do just want to stress the importance of the troop initial order. As last year, our delivery from ABC will be dictated by the amount of cookies we order with each planned order. And so if a troop is planning to host a cookie booth in the first week or two of the program, they will want to place an initial order and place a planned order. We will have cookies in our local cupboards, but the bigger walk-in orders we have at those cupboards, the less inventory we have available for everybody else. So we want to make sure that troops are placing an initial order if they are planning on starting to sell on February 2nd. The only way to guarantee cookies is to place an initial order or use the subsequent planned orders. When troops just plan on using walk-in orders, they are gambling on whether or not that variety or that amount of variety will be available. When a troop places a planned order, they will get the cookies that they have ordered. So initial order 2, I just want to mention, when our troops order it, they order by package, but it is delivered by the case. So for example, if a troop orders 11 boxes of Thin Mints and that is their initial order, they will receive a case, 12 boxes, and have 1 extra for a booth sale or whatever that may be. So it's ordered by the box, but delivered by the case. And we'll see that a little bit later as well. So we do want to make sure that our troops have the goal of having all of their cookies sold by the end of the cookie program in March, at least April or May, even if they're going to wrap things up. But the goal of the cookie program is to manage the inventory down to 0. So that does require good inventory management practices. We do have resources on our website in the Troop Cookie Coordinator Guide. Also, all of you are cookie gurus and will have good tips and tricks for our troop leaders. And so really, we want to make sure that we are sharing these tips with our troops. So some of the tips I can offer are to only order on commitments from parents. If I send Meg a text message and tell her to, get your cookie order to me by Thursday, and it's crickets from Meg and I don't get anything, I'm not ordering Meg cookies that week. There was no commitment. She doesn't need the cookies. I'm not going to order for them. We also want to make sure that we always have a parent sign a receipt before they take possession of the cookies. And that way, once they take those cookies, they are that parent's responsibility. We don't want parents returning cookies to our troops because as a council, we will not take cookies back from a troop. So troops should not take cookies back from parents. Customer demand will be the greatest in the first 2 weeks of the program. It will drop in weeks 3, 4, 5, and 6. And just to help kind of put that in perspective to our troops when we're talking to them, 75% of all of our planned orders for each year occur in the first 2 weeks of our sale. After that, weeks 3, 4, 5, and 6 make up the last 25% of our planned orders. So that really does show you that demand is very high at the beginning of the program. We want troops to stay current with their inventory. Many troops use smart cookies. Some people will use Excel or Google Docs or something else to track their inventory, but that is why we have the smart cookie system, is to be our inventory management system. We also want to make sure that we are allowing demand to dictate the troops' orders and we're not trying to order to a certain reward level or box level. And then troops can utilize planned orders for additional cookie demands. So we have 6 planned order opportunities. A troop does not have to participate in them all. They can order during week 1 and week 4 if they want. They can order at week 3 and never again. It's whatever works for the troop and their inventory mix. So any questions about initial order before we take a quick look at digital cookies for Girl Scouts? Okay. So again, smart cookies will house girls. When I upload girls to the system, I will put them into smart cookie, but then that information is shared over with digital cookies, and girls will use digital cookie for their online cookie platform. So again, when we ask smart cookies or digital cookie, the answer is easy. When it comes to girls, the answer is digital cookie. They will no longer have access to smart cookies. So digital cookies URL is here on the screen for you. It is digitalcookie.girlscouts.org. And so our parents will want to make sure that they bookmark that, troop leaders as well, but that is where girls and parents will go to manage their online cookie sales. So again, that email will arrive December 11th. GSUSA recommends adding that email address as a safe sender. It's a just follow the prompt process, and it's very easy. On December 11th, as soon as the girl has her account set up, she is welcome to go ahead and start sending emails to her customers. But if you have Girl Scouts in your troop, or a troop leader reaches out to you and says, I have girls who didn't get an email, if you have them reach out to our customer care team, our program specialist can help make sure the girl is in the system. And if they're not, we will make sure to get her uploaded and into the system as soon as possible. So in Digital Cookie, our customers who shop online have 3 different options to purchase cookies. The first is shipped. This is what we used to call direct ship cookies. They're now just called shipped. And so these cookies are delivered directly to a customer's home. There are shipping rates that we will take a look at here. The other option is in-person delivery, what we used to call girl delivery. And that is where the customer will order and pay online, but then the Girl Scout will bring the cookies to them. The third option is to donate cookies. This is always a great option for people who maybe don't want to eat the cookies or are on a diet or whatever. They can always donate them. And then we will donate them via Gift of Caring and Operation Cookie Share. I do want to highlight here that there is a change in a minimum because the system has shifted to digital cookie. There is now a 4-box minimum order for online customers. So customers will have to order a minimum of 4 boxes online to place their order. But this is still a great contactless opportunity for our girls. So if they are still, worried about handling money or worried about social distancing, digital cookie is a great option because everything is taken care of online. There's no actual money to collect. So again, shipped orders were known as formerly as direct ship. Customers will order and pay on a girl's online digital cookie platform, and then those cookies are delivered straight to the customer's home from an ABC distribution center. There is no adult approval needed for shipped orders. So, if a girl doesn't know the customer, that's okay because she doesn't have to deliver to them. Shipped orders also do not impact a Girl Scouts in-hand inventory because, again, those cookies are coming directly from an ABC distribution center. We won't be able to offer subsidized shipping any longer. Our council is currently working with GSUSA to determine if we're going to offer any sort of shipping promotions or things like that. But due to the digital cookie platform, just straight subsidized shipping is no longer an option. And again, there is a minimum of a 4-package order for shipped orders. So I did see a question come in here. 4-box minimum for donation to or just actual orders? Mindy, that is actually a great question. I will have to ask the powers that be and get that question answered and follow up with you if that's okay for you. I would imagine likely not, but I will check into that and follow up with you. So here are the shipping prices as they stand. Again, if we run any sort of promotion or anything, we will let you know. It is $12.99 to ship 4 to 8 packages and $14.99 to ship 9 to 12 packages. You'll notice then as you get into the larger package numbers, it is a combination of the tiers. For example, for 13 packages, it would be tier B. So that would be $14.99 for 12 packages, plus one more package at tier A at $12.99 means that a customer is paying $27.98 for 13 to 20 packages. So that is the breakdown there. Again, if we run any sort of shipping promotion or anything like that, we will absolutely let you know. I am happy to share with you that we are able to ship to Hawaii, Alaska, Puerto Rico, Virgin Islands, and any APO, FPO, or DPO address for just a $5 surcharge. So that is a change from years past. We haven't been able to necessarily do overseas delivery like that. And so I'm excited that we are able to offer that for a $5 surcharge. Is the rate for 33 to 36 packages? No, it is absolutely not right. Good catch, Jesse. There is a typo on the screen there for 33 to 36 packages. It won't be simply $5, a huge bonus if you order 34 packages. I will get that updated for you. I believe if going off of it correctly, I just need an extra 4 there and it should be $44.97, not $4.97, but good catch on that. Thank you very much. Yeah, Danielle, you're right. That would have been a deal. Order 34 packages for $5. That's a huge break, but that unfortunately is just a silly error on my part. So I am going to make a note of that. so I can fix that for future. Thank you very much for bringing that to my attention. So shipping prices have increased. I was surprised even last year with the change in shipping prices and the minimum packages. We still saw a pretty great sale when it came to shipped orders. So I think we will continue to see that this year. In-person delivery is what we knew as girl delivery orders before this year. These are going to be ideal for local family or friends, people who girls will interact with, daily or weekly that live nearby. These orders are paid for and ordered online, but then the Girl Scout will bring the cookies from their inventory to their customer. This type of delivery does require a parent approval. In the days of social media where a link can be shared at the snap of a finger, a girl could have a customer from out of state trying to order for in-person delivery. And if the girl isn't planning to travel to that state or doesn't know that customer, the parent can then decline the order. If the parent does know the customer and is comfortable delivering in person to them, they will approve the order. I do want to note that the order does need to be approved or declined within 5 days of the email. When a customer is shopping, they will be asked, if there is a secondary order needed, would you rather donate or cancel your order? So that after that 5 days, if the order has not been approved or declined, it will revert to the customer's second choice. So if the customer said, I still want to give the girl credit or I still want to donate the cookies, then the customer will be charged for the donation. If they chose cancel and the order was not approved or declined within that 5 days, then the order will be canceled and the customer won't be charged. Once the order is approved, then the Girl Scout will deliver cookies to the customer. For some reason, I feel like the bottom statement of there is no minimum order for an online customer for in-person delivery, I feel like that is wrong. So I am going to follow up on that for sure, but that could help answer our question, Mindy, when it comes to the donation pricing as well. So I will follow up with that just to make sure I'm giving you the correct information on that. As a troop volunteer, you will no longer need to necessarily complete a transfer to give girls credit. You will need to, if you need to give the girl inventory, you will need to transfer cookies to her. If you've already transferred inventory to her and she completes an in-person delivery, there's no extra work on the leader's part. Once the girl or her adult makes that delivery and marks the order as complete, then that information is transferred over to Smart Cookie and she is given credit for those cookies sold. So troop leaders can view their Girl Scouts orders either in Smart Cookies or on the digital cookie platform as well. I am going to be offering a girl and parent digital cookie training where we are going to go in depth with digital cookie and show them all the new features. That will be a virtual training on Tuesday, December 12th. So again, we will get an email or a link to that training in our bi-weekly newsletter, as well as on our website for Girl Scouts and parents to attend as well. So any questions about digital cookies from the girl side? So a couple questions pop in here. Okay, yes, it will be 6 p.m. And Meg, it will be the 12th. I will need to tell the program team I told them wrong today. I got my dates confused. So it will be the 12th, December 12th. Danielle, you should be able to view them from the manage orders screen, but as far in Smart Cookies, but as far as pulling the mobile and e-card summary to view in-person orders, that report will no longer exist. So when we talk about delivery, we are looking at the delivery of the initial order that troops placed by January 8th. We will then place that order with the baker shortly after that date. They will turn that around and get cookies shipped to our warehouses so that delivery can begin on January 26th. So again, as a service unit coordinator, if you don't mind working with me by December 11th, to send me your requested date and location for delivery. Your window is there on the screen for you. If you have it in mind now, go ahead and send it to me. It's not too early. If you haven't already, some of you may already have. I don't have my email open right now. But just as a reminder, I would like those by December 11th if possible. So looking at distribution, the product sales team will work with staff in our warehouses to determine, once your delivery locations and dates have been confirmed, then I'll work with staff to make sure that we have at least one staff member at each of our delivery locations. While we're talking with our troops, especially those who have never placed an initial order before, we do want to make sure to encourage them to bring a vehicle large enough for all of their cookies. Many of you, as you should, don't allow troops to, I'm going to pick up half my order now and come back in the afternoon and pick up the other half of my order. That is a logistical nightmare. So we do want to make sure that our troops are bringing a huge vehicle, a trailer, multiple vans, whatever they need. The troop cookie envelope actually has a breakdown of how many cases should fit in each style of car. So that should help our troops be able to determine how many vehicles to bring as well. We also want to make sure we are encouraging our troops to help you, our coordinators, to load their own vehicle. It shouldn't be on you to be putting the cookies in the back of someone's truck or the back of someone's van. We also want troop leaders to help you if possible, or if you need the help. And then as leaders are picking up, they will sign and give you their troop cookie coordinator agreement form. And then you can give those to the staff member present at your delivery to take back to your local office. We also want to make sure that our troops are remembering to pick up all of their cookie paperwork if they haven't already, but this will be their first opportunity for sure to get their order cards. I do want to make sure that our service unit coordinators know too that the day before service unit deliveries begin, Thursday, January 25th, our service centers in Bloomington, Decatur, Peoria, and Springfield will receive our cookie cupboard delivery. So you are welcome to begin popping in on January 25th if troops need a walk-in order or need additional gluten-free or things like that. They are welcome to place, come in and do a walk-in order. Excuse me. Champaign and Quincy will run out of their local warehouses, and they will be in touch with you about their delivery times and schedules. They're not open every day of the week like some of our other locations. So once we get our cookies delivered, then our direct sale can begin and girls can start to host cookie booths with their troops. They can go door to door. They can sell at school, whatever they'd like to do, our girls can start their cookie program. So a planned order is an order that a troop leader will put together in Smart Cookie in order to supply additional troop inventory needs. So if you need some cookies, the best way to make sure that you're going to receive the cookies you need is by placing a planned order. What's great about the planned order is that it does not need to be placed in cases. Troops can order by the box. So if a troop needs 2 boxes at the end of the program to fulfill a delivery, they can order the 2 boxes that they need. There will be a total of 6 planned orders, 1 per week. They are due on Sunday evenings by 8 p.m. The first planned order will be due Sunday, February 4th. And the last planned order will be Sunday, March 10th. So every Sunday between the February 4th and March 10th, troops are welcome to place a planned order. Those are due by Sunday, then we'll process those and get them filled and let troops know as soon as those planned orders are filled. As troops are placing their planned order, they will want to make sure that they pick the correct cupboard, whether it be a volunteer express cupboard the first couple weeks of the sale. We offer cupboards in several of our regional areas to help with troop inventory. And then after the first few weeks, all planned orders then will be picked up at your local service center cupboard. And troops, again, will use smart cookies to place their troop planned orders. So our cupboards that we call full service cupboards are going to be our service centers in Bloomington, Decatur, Peoria, and Springfield. In Champaign, the cupboard is out of the Hutchcraft warehouse in Urbana. I do encourage our troops in those areas to contact your local program specialist, Kelsey Parker, for hours of operation and when that cupboard will be open. Our full service cupboards beyond Champaign will be open January 27th through March 26th. We will take walk-in orders, meaning that a troop could, instead of using the planned orders, they could come in the day that they need cookies, as long as we are open Monday through Friday and on a couple different Saturdays. But you can come in and say, I need 2 cases of this, 4 cases of that, and 2 boxes of those, and we will give those to your troop and you walk out the door with them right then. Then our program specialist will enter that in the system so that the troop is charged for those cookies, but that is called a walk-in order. We also will be available for trading out or swapping out cookies, but we do want to make sure that our troops call ahead, especially if they have to travel quite a distance to their local service center. We want to make sure that we have the varieties that those troops are actually looking for. We will have some extended cookie hours. Fridays, February 9th, 16th, and 23rd, our full service cupboards, including the Hutchcraft warehouse in Champaign, will be open from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And then our service center cupboards out of Bloomington, Decatur, Peoria, and Springfield will be open on the first Saturday of February, February 3rd, and the first Saturday of March, March 2nd, from 9:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. for cookie orders or walk-ins. So during that height of the season when demand is super high, we will have those extended cookie hours. In the Peoria area, I know there are typically a few other Saturdays that the office is open. I am working to confirm those with the Peoria team, but it is looking like there will be those additional Saturdays as there has been in the past. We also have express cupboards. Some of you are also my cupboard managers for these express cupboards. They are going to be run by volunteers. So typically these cookies are being delivered to a volunteer's home or a church or a library. With the exception, there is one Quincy cupboard, volunteer cupboard that is delivered on Thursdays. But what happens is the troops who order from these express cupboards are made aware of when they can pick up their cookies. And once those cookies are all picked up, then that cupboard is closed. So these express cupboards are not designed to have extra cookies for walk-in orders or for swaps. That is what the full service cupboards are for. These express cupboards are open anywhere from just the first week to the first 3 weeks of our 6 planned order weeks. After week 3, so for weeks 4, 5, and 6, all planned orders will be picked up at a troop's local service center. So Peru and Quincy are kind of our exceptions. We do consider both of them to be express cupboard locations. So in Peru, our troops will pick up on Friday at the Test Corporation building, and that will be each Friday of the program that there are planned orders. Quincy troops can pick up on Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday at the Quincy Storage Warehouse. Both locations will offer 6 planned order opportunities. So although they are express cupboards, they will offer all 6 planned orders. Quincy Express Cupboard will also have cookies available for walk-in orders and swaps as well. So what our troops can expect when it comes to planned orders is that we are going to order on an as-needed basis. So if troops don't tell us that they need cookies, we're not going to order the inventory. So due to a change in ABC Baker's delivery standard, our delivery will look a little bit different. Just like last year, our delivery time is dependent upon the size of our order, but it could take up to 10 business days to be delivered to our local warehouses. And then from there, it could be a day or two before the warehouse is able to break those down and deliver them to our locations. So what a leader or a cookie coordinator can expect is that if they place a planned order on Sunday, they will likely be able to pick it up later that same week, but potentially, depending on inventory and delivery times, it could potentially be into the second following week after that Sunday that they place the order. Last year, I was very pleased that because of inventory management, we were able to fill all planned orders each week. And there weren't delays like we're expecting, but it doesn't hurt to just prepare our troops for that possibility in case we do see delivery changes. So that again is why we encourage troops to place that initial order. So that way they do have cookies on hand, and then the planned orders are meant to just supplement their inventory as needed. So any questions about planned orders before we take a look at cookie booths? All right, moving right along. So cookie booths, as you all know, are a great way to meet your troops' goals as well as share what your troop is doing. So troops want to consider high traffic, high visibility areas, and it's also a great time to collect donations for Operation Cookie Share. You know, if someone is like, oh no, I'm on a diet, well, you can donate to the military or buy a box for our soldiers. So that is always an option for our customers. As in the past, our council will work with certain locations. For example, the mall in Springfield, the mall in Champaign, I believe the mall in Decatur, the Hickory Point Bank locations in Decatur, one of the Hy-Vees in Peoria, those kinds of locations, we will continue to work with them, and we secure the booth locations and then allow troops to sign up for those. But troops are also welcome to secure their own booths. In each of our small towns, there might be a coffee shop or a boutique or a special place that troops know would be a great place to sell cookies. Troops can also host a booth wherever they would like. So cookie booths can begin on February 2nd. GSUSA is currently in the process of working on contracts with both GNC and Walmart Sam's Club for cookie booth opportunities. And so until then, again, we ask that we just leave our Walmart friends alone until we know what we're doing there. We will do our best to secure council-sponsored booth sites for our troops, but again, they can go wherever they would like as long as it's not a dispensary or a bar. That's pretty much where the bar is at. So again, with Walmart, GSUSA has not yet reached a national agreement. I am assuming that Sam's Club will operate the same as in years past. We haven't heard that that will be different. Like last year, I am assuming that we'll be able to request 4 weekends. I don't have those available weekends yet because there is no national agreement. But we will, if a Walmart has opted in and wants troops to be there, those will be on the Smart Cookies booth scheduler. If your Walmart is not on the booth scheduler, that means that they have not confirmed with me and or they have denied the request. That doesn't mean that then troops should go and ask the Walmart themselves. That means that that Walmart is off limits. But again, I won't know any of that until Walmart reaches a national agreement and then approves our council requests. But beyond those 4 weekends, if we're able to get those, booths will not be allowed. So, you know, other than the 4 weekends we offer, we should not be hosting booths at Walmart. It doesn't matter if your best friend is the general manager, I know so-and-so and they can get me in. That doesn't matter. We need to follow the rules, be a good Girl Scout to every other Girl Scout and be a good Girl Scout to Walmart and make sure that we're following the rules they set up. So if a Walmart booth is available, it will be located in the Smart Cookie booth scheduler.
Hey, Emma, I have a question.
Yes.
It's Sabrina. So last year we started this whole Walmart scheduling thing, but some Walmarts did not even know what they were doing when it came to scheduling booths with the troops.
Yes.
And some troops were double booked at Walmarts. So how is it that it's fair if there's troops that went in and asked the manager and are on the scheduler, and then there's troops that followed the rules and went through the system,
Right.
but yet you have both troops at the Walmart.
It is not fair. And until we really figure out, and when I say we, I really mean GSUSA and Walmart figures out exactly what they're doing, we are kind of stuck in this position, because I do want everyone to be honest and fair and use the site. And I do think that moving forward, you know, I will do better about making sure that when booths are entered for me to approve, that I'm not approving Walmart booths, but really just communicating with our troops and our parents that, you know, you can't go into the store. That will not be honored. What will be honored is the location that is signed up and is secured for your troop in Smart Cookie. If the troop can't pull up and show that I have this reserved or I have this approved, they will need to go.
Okay, and I also have another question. Well, it's actually not a question, it's more of a suggestion. Instead of like the Walmart, or instead of the booths being broken up into like shifts per se, can we just secure like for the day, like each troop for the day? Because it makes it really difficult to get, I mean, if you're like a veteran selling cookies, you know that like this time to this time is like the perfect time, where the first shift and the third shift kind of like get left behind.
Mm-hmm. I will have to run that by my supervisor, because we do want to make sure that we have as many Walmart opportunities, because Walmart is a hot button thing. And if one troop gets an entire day and there's only 24 days in a weekend that we have, that really limits the pool and the availability of Walmart. So that is not a decision that I can make. I'll have to run that by my supervisor. I'll absolutely suggest it to her. But that could be why it's rebutted, is the fact that, you know, you go from having what could be 9 to 12 shifts on a weekend to 3. That really does diminish the opportunity for troops. But I do understand where you're coming from. So I will absolutely raise it up to my supervisor. And I will absolutely follow up with you if I am able to find anything out.
Okay.
I appreciate that feedback. It is not the same for Sam's Club. As far as I know, again, this is all based on assumption, because we don't even have a national agreement yet. So I don't know what the agreement will look like when it comes to Sam's Club. Last year, Sam's Club was separate, and it was the same kind of process we'd done with Walmart's in the past, where the troops contacted Sam's directly. But again, I can't confirm or deny whether that will be the same until we have a national agreement with Walmart.
So this is Jessie. I'd like to just second what Sabrina said. Even if it could be 2 shifts a day instead of 3, it would make a lot more sense. That 4 to 8 shift at a Walmart is really dark and really cold in the parking lot. So it just seems a little much to me as a leader. So I'd add that in. And then last year there were Walmarts that, you know, a couple weeks in, we were told would not be on the scheduler and we should schedule with them.
Mm-hmm.
If we could get that information, I know you're really stuck, and I know it's not possible right now, but the sooner we get that information, the better.
Right. Yeah. And I don't keep any secrets. So as soon as I get information, I definitely share it with you guys. But there really isn't anything I can do with Walmart right now, because all we're being told by GSUSA is wait till we have an agreement. Okay. So I don't know what that's going to look like. If they're, you know, they seem confident that there is going to be a national agreement. But just please be patient with me as the only product salesperson when it comes to Walmart booths, because there are 35 Walmarts in our council footprint. It takes me like 3 hours to talk to each Walmart individually. And many of them, I know we were all aware that, you know, you've even referenced it in your comments that some of the Walmarts didn't know what was happening. I mean, the classic one to me was, oh, so this is why we didn't have any bell ringers this year. Yep. We were told corporate told you, but apparently it's just like GSUSA, where half the information gets shared and half of it doesn't. So that was very frustrating. I am hoping that it's smoother this year. And it could very well be where if there are Walmarts that don't get back to me and won't approve or decline my request, I may say, all right, go ahead, go hit up that Walmart and do your own thing. But until I clear that, I really do not want any of our volunteers reaching out to Walmart just so we can keep it as peaceful as possible. Kayla, you have your hand raised.
Yes, so not anything to do with Walmart, but I know no dispensaries, and last year someone, it may have been you, made the comment that as long as a child is allowed in there, then they should be allowed to sell. My husband, my daughter's dad, works at a local bar. Children are allowed in there because they have games and food and stuff until 6 p.m. Are we allowed to set up outside? It's in a strip mall as long as it's before 6 p.m. or is that like a no altogether?
So when it comes to establishments where girls are either not at all welcome, like a dispensary, or a bar where they may be a bar and grill, like you mentioned, until like 6 p.m. or whatever, girls are welcome to have a booth in front of that bar and grill or in that bar and grill until 6 p.m. After that time, they should not be in front of or inside that bar because they are no longer welcome as patrons. And so if they are no longer welcome, it doesn't look super great if they are right outside the bar. Same thing goes with a dispensary. Girls are not welcome at all because they are not at the age of 21. And so they should not be in front of or near a dispensary with a booth as well. But if it is a bar and grill and they do have, we serve everyone until 7 p.m. and then at 7, it's 21 and older, people can have booths there till 7. But then once that turns over to 21 and older, no girls should be present in or near that location.
Perfect. That's what I thought. Thank you.
Yes, no problem. And that is something where, I am going to hit that and talk to all of our Girl Scouts again. But as you see troops, it is really helpful. You don't have to chastise them or discipline them, but they may simply not know. But you may, if you catch someone, just be like, hey, you do know that if girls aren't welcome, they shouldn't be there, right? And that is something where if I see something come across the approval process, I will deny it. But not everyone also uses smart cookies. So if you see a troop out there, a lot of times if people come to me and say, there was a troop selling outside a dispensary, do you have a troop number? Do you have a leader? I can't do much if you don't find those kinds of things out. So try not to tattle on one another. But if you do, make sure you have things like a troop number or a leader name or something that I can follow up with. Any other booth questions before we talk about the smart booth scheduler? All right, good discussion, good recommendations. And like I said, we are all gonna hope for Walmart together here and hope they get that agreement soon. So any of the locations that we as a council have secured will be in the smart booth scheduler. That will open at 9 a.m. on Monday, January 1st, and January 1st through the 5th is a first come, first serve reservation. 2 booths will be allowed per troop. If Walmarts are in there, they will be in there as a premium booth. So each troop will be allowed initially to sign up for 1 of the premium booth slots. Then beginning January 6th, open reservation will begin and troops can go back into Smart Cookie to sign up for as many additional council secured booths as they prefer. So again, we are opening that a little bit earlier in the hopes that it will help our leaders, since we did hear the feedback that it's helpful for the initial order if the booth scheduler is open as well. But troops, again, are not limited to just the ones that are listed in Smart Cookie. Our troops can also enter their custom booth locations. We do encourage troops to enter those into Smart Cookies on the booth tab, because then those booths will be included in the National Cookie Locator. So as customers visit girlscouts.org to look for cookies, they will be directed to the troops in their area having cookie booths. So there will be instructions in the Troop Cookie Coordinator Guide for entering custom booth locations, but it is a great idea to enter those so that way if a customer is looking for a booth in that zip code, they will be directed to the troop. With January 1st being a holiday, will there be tech support that day? There won't be tech support that day. I am the tech support. But I know that the system will be open, and so you'll be able to sign up for booths. And if there are any issues, then we should all be back in the office January 2nd to help with things. I can't speak for ABC tech support. I don't know if they'll be working on January 1st, but I would imagine not, given that it is when New Year's is being observed. So this is what the National Cookie Booth Locator looks like. A customer will type in their zip code and click go, and then a map and list of all troops in the location with cookie booths will be listed. The one thing I do want to mention is last year, more than any other year, I had lots of customers reach out to me to say, I looked up this booth. They said they would be at JCPenney at 2 p.m. and they weren't there. So we do want to make sure that if troops are signing up for booths or entering their own custom booths and then are not going to those booths, they need to cancel or release those so that customers aren't being directed to go to JCPenney when there isn't actually a troop there. So the National Cookie Locator link does allow customers to find booths in their zip code. Then starting National Girl Scout Cookie Weekend, the girls, or not the girls, the troop cookie links will begin to rotate. So as a customer looks for their zip code, not only will they see live booths in their area, but they'll also be invited to shop on a troop's direct ship link. So that has no impact on the troop inventory. It just gives the troop cookie credit. But that is an opportunity that will rotate based on an algorithm. And that is an opportunity for troops to get some extra sales. So the troop virtual booth link is the one thing that a troop manager will use digital cookie for. It is the same as what was the troop cookie link in Smart Cookie last year. So again, it's been moved from Smart Cookie to Digital Cookie. So this link allows the troop to make sales online in addition to their regular in-person booth sales. It's hosted virtually, paid for virtually, but then the cookies are picked up in person. We do want to make sure that the troops are adding that pickup location to the booth scheduler if they're going to have in-person sales so that they can be found by the cookie locator. And then leaders will assign those cookies sold to girls via the Smart Cookies booth divider. So we will have additional training for the troop virtual link and all digital cookie information during those opportunities in December that we took a look at a little bit earlier. Also, starting on February 16th is when the troop ship only link, which is the same as troop ship only link in Smart Cookie. It is also that's where digital cookie will take place as well. So the troop ship only link will rotate on that National Cookie Locator. If the troop has their zip code listed in Smart Cookie, they will be rotated via this algorithm. And so once the troop's digital cookie site is set up, there's no additional work. It will be automatically included in that algorithm, and customers will be able to ship or to shop for direct ship only, which means there's no inventory to mess up with the troop, just credit to assign to girls. We also have Operation Cookie Share again this year. Troops will earn $1 per box, per each box donated. I do want to note for our troops that the first 65 cents of normal troop profit will automatically appear for each donated box. Then the extra 35 cents will be added manually at the conclusion of the sale. So don't panic if at the beginning you're not seeing the full dollar. Those are added at the end of the program. And then our council works with Operation Santa, Soldiers Angels, and other organizations to deliver those cookies. This past year, I was actually able to deliver some cookies to a military base in Bartonville, Illinois, as well as to our veteran hospital in Danville, Illinois. So I was very excited to keep things very local and that some of our local military men and women were able to enjoy some of our awesome Girl Scout cookies. So any questions before we take a quick look at rewards? Allows me to pause and get a drink of water.
I'll let you take your drink of water. Sorry.
Oh, no, you're good. What's your question, Kayla?
What about donations? If somebody doesn't want any cookies and they just hand us $5 and is like, I just want to donate this, how do we handle that? Do we add it towards the troop, like cookie sales, and do like Operation Cookie Share, or do we, what do we do with that?
So in Smart Cookie, you would go to the like the track virtual cookie share option, and you would just enter in. So let's say you ended up having $18 donated. That's enough for 3 boxes of cookies to donate. You would then assign each of those boxes to a girl or girls. That's however you want to distribute those. And that way the girls are getting credit for it, but the money is already paid for and in your troop bank account.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And those are the kinds of things too. We will take a look at things like how you enter the cookie share information when we do the digital cookie and smart cookies trainings in December. So taking a look at rewards, I know I've referenced the opt-out troops when it comes to rewards. These are, the opt-out option is for our junior troops and older. If a troop is multi-level, they are able to opt out as long as the troop has all agreed and the daisies, brownies are okay with giving up the tchotchke items and things like that. So when a troop opts out of rewards, they are opting out of all of the rewards. So that includes any of the items that we give, cookie dough, travel dough, and free memberships. So a troop is waiving all of those rewards in order to receive 90 cents per box, an extra 25 cents over what a standard troop who does get the rewards would receive. This is an option that applies to the entire troop. It is not a girl by girl option, so it is a good moment for the troops to use the democratic process to make the decision on whether they're going to opt out or stay with regular rewards. Troops designate whether they are going to opt out or not in the troop information tab in Smart Cookies. And I do ask that troops opt out by January 8th in the Smart Cookie system. I can opt troops out after that time, but it really does help me to be able to prepare for the reward phase of our sale if I have troops opted out by January 8th. All right, so the reward order is our final phase of the cookie program. We do need a reward order placed in order for girls to get the rewards they earn. Just because it's in Smart Cookie, but you didn't submit it, does not mean that the rewards will just automatically appear. If you are assigning, rewards to girls, but they continue to pick up cookies, you will want to make sure that you are updating their reward order. And you're going to use Smart Cookies in order to enter these troop rewards. If I have to go through at the end before we submit the sale and choose anything for a girl with the options, I will choose cookie dough over the item or travel dough. Troop reward orders are due March 18th. If a troop submits their reward order after that date, there may be a delay in them receiving their rewards, meaning that the rewards may not be available for them by the date we're giving the council of April 24th. It may be available after that. So we do want to make sure that our troops are placing their order in a timely fashion. Rewards are cumulative. Girls will earn everything from each level that they earn, except if they earn the Disney trip. Those girls will not earn the 1,800 box level, which is the $350 gift card or cookie dough or travel dough. And that helps to offset the cost of the Disney trip or the MacBook. Cookie dough also accumulates. So a girl who sells 500 boxes will earn $55 in cookie dough or travel dough or whatever combination she prefers. So cookie dough is an online code that is emailed to girls that can be used for special events for GSCI programs or events. It can also be used for membership registration for the future year. We're also in a couple slides going to take a look at our special cookie dough only items that girls can use their cookie dough. Leaders can also use cookie doughs for a troop purchase as long as they have a parent or guardian signature on the cookie dough permission form that will be on our website. That is just acknowledging that the parent is saying, yes, you can use my daughter's cookie dough for the troop purchase. Cookie dough will expire September 21st, 2024. And if a customer would like to use a cookie dough code to shop on our GSUSA website, they will need to reach out, and there will be a WooFoo form for them to fill out to request an online shopping code. Because those can take up to 2 weeks to turn the cookie dough code into an online shopping code, the submit to request for online shopping is September 7th. After September 7th, a girl will not be able to request an online shopping code. She will have to use her cookie dough in store or for a program or an event. Travel dough was a new opportunity we debuted last year. It is going to be coming back this year. It can be used to help girls pay for any GSCI sponsored trips, travel camps, or Girl Scout destinations. What's really great about travel dough is that girls can earn and keep that travel dough for up to 5 years or 5 cookie seasons. And after the 5th year of that cookie season, the travel dough will expire. So for example, any girls who earn travel dough this year in the 2024 cookie program will have until September 2029 to redeem all their travel dough towards a trip. So that is great for our travel-minded Girl Scouts to really save up if they want to go to Japan in a couple of years, or if they're working towards another destination in mind, they have up to 5 years to redeem their travel dough. I do want to note that travel dough is non-refundable. So if a girl uses travel dough to pay for a part of a trip and then ends up not going on the trip, it will not be refunded. We also cannot transfer travel dough between Girl Scouts. So if a girl does not use her travel dough, then that is simply expired. She cannot transfer it over to another girl. So girls can earn rewards on 3 different categories based on the total boxes they sell, their digital cookie sales, as well as their Operation Cookie Share donations. So in an effort to save some time for you, I thought I wouldn't go through level by level. This recognition insert is in the cookie material that you all received, but this does go through and show you what each girl will earn at each level, what choices she has between things. One thing I do want to note as we're looking at things is we have discontinued the American Girl gift cards. I am no longer able to order those through our gift card vendor. And so because of that, and due to the fact that there were only a handful of girls who actually ordered American Girl cards last year, the options for gift cards will be Amazon or Walmart, cookie dough or travel dough this year. So no American Girls this year. Jesse asked, is there a reason why we don't advertise the Superseller t-shirt and event? That is because at this time we aren't able to schedule it, so we don't have a date for the event, nor has the t-shirt been designed. And so we don't advertise it because I don't want to either misspeak or say a wrong date. We've tried to do that in the past, and then the date has changed and it's been rather messy. And so that is where I then reach out to each Superseller individually after the program to let them know and send them an invitation. Here's also a look at the shipped only rewards or the Operation Cookie Share rewards. Again, all of these rewards are on the recognition insert that each of you has a few copies of in the paperwork you received. Items that are for purchase for cookie dough only. These items were selected and set by our retail team. And so these are the special items that girls can use their cookie dough for if they don't want to use an online code. The one thing I do want to point out is the axolotl t-shirt is super cute, and she actually kind of wraps around the side and the back of the girl so that there's a little bit of a tail back on the back of the t-shirt, and then the cute axolotl with the lemonade on the front. So super cute stuff and options for our girls to spend their cookie dough. We'll also have My First Cookie Sale and Booth Sale patches available in each of our boutiques. Those will be on sale for $1.50 a piece. through resources and training beyond this training that I will follow up with each of you and send you a link to this recording. But you also have resources within the Smart Cookie system. You have Flickr Smart Cookie Helpline, their YouTube channel. So all kinds of different help resources that you can reach out to, along with reaching out to your local program team or myself. We're all more than willing and able to help you with any of your cookie questions or concerns. Our website is also going to be super helpful for you. All of the Smart Cookie instructional videos, as well as digital cookie videos and tip sheets, will be available. Other training materials will be posted there as well for girls and parents and our troops. All of that will be in the Cookies Plus section of our GSCI website. Question pop up here. May we pre-order the booth patches? Annie, I'm not 100% sure about that. I'm going to have you contact your local OC. So that would be Caitlin Nelson in Springfield. If you want to reach out to her and ask her about pre-ordering, she will know better about that than I will. Also, just again, as a reminder, because cookie dough is really super important and we want our girls to spend it, cookie dough will expire September 21st, 2024. And if they want an online shopping code, that does need to be redeemed by September 7th. We had a service unit coordinator ask about how many girls